All right, what's up, boys? We are live, and if you haven't noticed, I have a special guest with me here today. I have my good buddy, and you guys know, if you've been following the channel for a while, you know my good buddy, Mike. Mike, how's it going?
Buddies now. Wow, that's
We've upgraded.
a heck of a title.
We've
No,
upgraded from acquaintances to buddies. But don't be fooled. We still have the film to go with this, all right? So we have the film is queued up. We're all ready to go. Thank you for watching a live show. We figured it was a Friday night. We both had today off, right?
Yeah.
Both had today off because the hurricane in Florida.
Cabin fever, man, was getting me.
Dude, we were ready to go, so we're excited for tonight because I've been inside for 2 days. I did probably 4 hours of cleanup today at my house with debris and stuff from the hurricane. But we are all safe. We are all good to go, and we are here for a live show. But we do have film loaded up, and we're ready to go to talk all things Eagles. Before we jump into that, you guys got to let us know how the audio sounds in the chat. Those of you that are here all the time, the channel members, let me know how the audio sounds. I can adjust it. I don't know how this sounds. I haven't done two mics.
Wow.
One mic, two
Yeah.
mics. I haven't done two mics in a while, so let me know how it sounds. I appreciate it. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. We do live shows all the time. We do video breakdowns, and
Lots of wheeze. Wow.
I like to use the term
Okay,
we. It's
gotcha.
like kind of like a they-them thing. And so make sure you subscribe so you get an alert anytime we go live. Follow the Twitter, Instagram, all that fun stuff. Mike, as I ask you how you're doing, let's just go ahead and put up the defensive grades for the Eagles. Why? Because we just heard there's news today that a certain player is injured.
Yeah.
Right. So it's Avonte Maddox for the Eagles.
Yeah. Big time cornerback.
Right. I mean, looking at his grades here, 181 snaps, a 78.5. He's technically
More snaps than Slay.
more snaps than Slay. I would say he's actually their highest graded player. And here's why for PFF. Because those of you that are new to PFF, the scoring, the grading's weird. Yeah. But if you look at it, you can kind of tell what's happening here. If you look at the first player, TJ Edwards, the only reason why his grade is so high is because his pass rush grading is 90. But he's only had 12 pass rush snaps.
Yeah.
So
seven pressures on those 12 snaps, though. It's pretty.
I mean, that's good.
Pretty legit.
But I wouldn't say that he's like a force to have to worry about. Because if you look at his run defense grade, it's a 67. His tackling grade's a 54.
Yep.
And his coverage grade's an 80.
Yep.
So I wouldn't necessarily say he's one of their best players. You go to Jordan Davis. He's only played 67 snaps.
Yep.
And his tackling grade's 36. That leads you to your best player is Avonte Maddox, according to PFF.
Yeah.
So him being injured is a big deal.
Absolutely. Especially doing with him mostly going to be on Christian Kirk.
Yeah.
You would imagine. So.
Yeah, I mean, that's true. So shout out to A Sharpshooter. I always like to shout out the first person in the chat. A Sharpshooter, first one in the chat. Charlie Boy's here. Patrick Jackson's here. He's the Noti Gang. He's a channel member. Munchalax is here, a channel member. The countdown is such a tease. I know.
What do you mean, the 3-minute countdown?
Tallahassee, who is a channel member. What's up, Tallahassee? He's also here. What is this? Another Jags podcast? I love it, Tallahassee. I love it. Zay Jones questionable, says the great mistake Bozo.
Yeah, so.
We'll get there in a second. All right, so I wanted to kind of talk about like what it's going to take to win this game. What are your thoughts on Jalen Hurts? As I pull up the offensive grades, what are your thoughts on Jalen Hurts?
I mean, the growth he's shown between last season to this season. I mean, besides Trevor, I don't know if anybody's taken, maybe Tua, besides last night, has taken a bigger step at the quarterback position than Hurts has this year. Looks like a potential franchise quarterback and dangerous, absolutely dangerous for sure.
So it's hard to we kind of talked about this off air. It's hard to evaluate Jalen Hurts because all 3 games have been significantly different. Yeah. Okay, you have week 1 against the
Lions, I believe.
The Lions, and they get into a shootout.
Yep.
But they don't score in the second half,
Yep.
right? And he ran the ball a lot. Like he ran the ball like the first drive, the first 3 plays where Jalen Hurts runs. He ran the ball. I mean, their entire running game was Jalen Hurts running. Then you have week 2 against the Vikings, where they only scored in the second quarter.
Yep.
They scored 24 points in the second quarter, and that was it.
Yeah.
They didn't score in the first quarter. They didn't score in the second half at all. So it was kind of weird because like they had a great second quarter, but then they did nothing else the rest of the game. Then you have the game against the Commanders, where he barely ran at all. and he just kind of threw, and Carson Wentz played
Definitely
terrible.
threw. I mean,
Yeah, he threw. I mean,
Yeah,
he threw. Yeah, he threw a lot. But and Wentz played terrible that game.
Yeah.
Like if I wish they would have gotten the Commanders the Jags played because that was a shell of who. I mean, their offensive line could not block the Eagles' defensive line.
You also have to credit the Eagles
defensive line.
They played well.
Okay.
Yeah, that defensive line.
So we'll get to the Eagles' defensive line. I don't necessarily think that they're great stopping the run, but pass rushing they are. Philip Butcher.
They're athletic, man. They are really,
they
really
are.
athletic.
They are. We'll get to them here in a second. Philip Butcher is in the chat. He's a channel member as well. Robert Atzert says Tim Jones might get a shot for us.
I hope not. No offense to Tim Jones, but hopefully he doesn't play a snap.
Yeah, I know. All right, so let's take a look at this offensive PFF grades. Grant Calcaterra, ignore him. He's had 17 snaps. We're not going to worry about that. Here, you have to learn how to look at PFF grades.
Yeah.
Like you have to learn how to look at them. I know people hate them, but if you learn how to look at them, they can give you some quantifiable data. AJ Brown's been outstanding.
What a combo.
Yeah, and I mean, and if you look at it, we have AJ Brown. Let's pull it up here. Look at AJ Brown's like receiving chart here. Look at this. He's had 1 catch over 20 yards. He's had 4 catches over 10 yards. And look at all of this production inside of under 10 yards. 8 for 9 in the middle of the field.
Does that speak to the quarterback or?
I mean, Hurts has been accurate.
Yeah. Okay.
Let's not get it wrong. Hurts has been accurate. But, I mean, if you look at all of the receivers, they're all kind of hitting right here. In fact, I think Hurts is throwing like 80% under 10 yards.
Can you do a side-by-side of Smiths at the same time by chance?
So I can pull up Browns, and this is Smiths. So look at Smiths.
Almost the exact same.
But, I mean, Smiths has a little bit more, yardage down the field. But, again, middle of the field, 5 for 5.
Very similar, though, honestly.
Let me pull up my
beast.
Sorry, guys. I like to be able to circle for you guys. If I can find it. There it is. Okay. So here's what. Right here is where people are making their money. Look, 5 for 5, 80 yards there. Okay. We look back at AJ Brown, and what do we have here? 8 for 9. So between the two of them, I mean, 13 for 14, right? I mean, that's impressive in the middle of the field there. I mean, that's where Hurts lives. I mean, I think actually we can pull up Jalen Hurts' passing.
You think about
look at this.
You think about the players that have been lined up there in the last 3 games they played against. I don't think there's been a Devin Lloyd or a Luke on.
You're right. So the defensive player has not been the same, but 18 for 22.
Yeah, it's very good.
I mean, look at this. In under 10 yards to the left.
Yeah.
14 for 15.
I mean, 7 of 9 as well, yeah. So he's eating.
7 for 9 to the right. I mean, that's what I'm saying. This dude is 80%.
Yeah.
85%.
Do you think, without getting too much in the film, do you think that's a threat of the run?
I mean, that's what's hard to evaluate.
Eye candy?
Because like we were talking about, I mean, yeah, when you have to have a linebacker accounting for Hurts running any given time, it makes it hard to defend there.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you're right. That's a good point. Well, you brought it up. It's a good transition. Let's pull up Jalen Hurts throwing in the middle of the field. You guys take a look for yourself. We'll get some of these comments. All of these plays right here are Jalen Hurts throwing to that short to medium yardage here. Okay, so
play breaking down.
Yeah, I mean it's all good stuff here. I'll get to some of these comments while we're watching this. Patrick Jackson says Jalen Hurts is underrated. AJ Brown is questionable.
Ooh.
He's good though. He's good.
It's feeling like 2017 with all these injuries and all the looks so far.
Yeah. Sea Breacher says I remember this guy from the Minshew days.
Oh, who? Minshew?
I think you.
Oh, I don't.
You weren't a big Minshew fan ever, were you?
I mean, he was all right.
But you were never like
Hey, I said it before the
like
season. Either he's going to make the playoffs or he's going to get his Trevor Lawrence. So.
Yeah, no, I mean, and we ended up not playing Minshew like the back half of the season. Robert Atcher says Zay Jones being hurt. Tim Jones did great, 140 by halftime in preseason. I mean, I think Zay Jones might still play. I mean, what's the latest on him?
I mean, who would you rather see play?
I mean, obviously, we'd all rather see
course.
Zay Jones play, but who's the next guy up if Zay Jones doesn't play? It's not Tim Jones.
Agnew?
Is it Agnew?
Probably it's got to be Tim Jones.
But I mean, who's going to get like the receptions? I mean, Zay Jones has led the team in receptions last week.
Kirk just getting fed, and Ingram, maybe Ingram's come out game.
So okay, Ingram had led.
No, he's played well.
Yeah, Ingram's
How
played
many
well.
yards do you think he had last week, by the way?
I don't think he's been over 80 yards.
Just how many? Just guess how many do you think
Ingram
had last week?
I mean, I'm confusing. I get week 3 and 2 confused, but I'm gonna say he had what 70 yards last week.
No, I thought he did. He had 7 yards last week.
Ingram did.
Yeah.
But so week 2, he led the team in receptions though.
Maybe reception.
He did.
He's been around 50, 40 yards each
Yeah.
week, but I felt like last week he had a lot of yards, and I went back and looked. 1 catch for 7 yards.
Week 2, he led the team in receptions and had about 70 yards.
I've been very happy with him.
No, Ingram's been good. Ingram's been good. And, I mean, I think Philly's been vulnerable in the middle of the field, so I think we'll be okay there. Predator says, it's our boy! Exclamation point. Predator, man, you guys are more excited for him.
Hey, dude, Urban Meyer killed the spirit. It's been. I had to recover from that whole debacle. So.
Oh, man. Philip Butcher, channel member Philip Butcher, says, the Eagles might be the most complete team in the NFL. If we beat them, what would that say about us?
I'll let you answer that one.
I mean, I don't necessarily think they're the most complete team in the league. I think they've been the recipient of playing a Commanders team that played horrible last week. They played a Monday night game and caught Minnesota where they played terrible.
Look bad. They look
Minnesota
really
looked
bad.
terrible. They didn't run the ball.
But you got to give them credit for being 3-0 as well.
I mean, I'll give them credit. The Jags should be 3-0.
Most complete team in the NFL. Probably
Should the Jags be 3-0?
I would say so.
Okay, so
but I would gladly take winning this game versus winning against the Commanders.
So listen though, like the Eagles' weakness, and we have film to. And again, if you're looking at the film, this is all Jalen Hurts completing his like inside. We were talking about Jalen Hurts is outstanding on inside 20 yards.
Yeah.
I mean, his accuracy is outstanding.
And that was his MO in college as well.
Yeah,
so.
I mean, he buys time with his feet. I mean, look at this.
That's a great.
He's just
throw.
insanely accurate. Yeah. He really is. I mean, his accuracy was what stood out to me the most.
Yeah.
I watched all 3 games. I did not. I mean, obviously in the first week Lions game, he ran a lot, and I was like, okay, that's cool. But weeks 2 and 3, he showed his accuracy.
Yeah.
He really did.
Dude, apparently he's a grinder. I've been going deep on just like old Doug Peterson getting fired and stuff like that. He is apparently a absolute grinder for sure. Yeah.
Look,
he won that locker room within like the first few weeks of him being a rookie, I heard.
Wow.
Yeah.
So here's my problem with Minnesota. Their weakness was the Eagles' weakness, I think, is running up the middle. We have film loaded up to show it. And the Vikings refused to run the ball.
Yeah,
and they never got down.
You said Dalvin got 8 carries, I
yeah,
believe?
Dalvin had like 8 carries.
Yeah,
and so like they never got down where they like had to throw. They just like refused to run the ball. I don't know if they were like if they thought they could beat them in the pass game, but it made no sense to me. I mean, especially after week 2 when the Lions DeAndre Swift had like over 100 yards rushing against the Eagles.
Would you say that's kind of that system, though? I feel like that just...
Maybe. But if you saw on film the week before that like running inside kills a team, do it. Like, it's so funny because in the past, I always thought the Jags were like a team that was going to have to modify their game plan versus their opponent. But now the Jags are a team that's going to run their stuff.
They have an identity.
Yes.
Yeah, for sure.
Yes, and I think they're going to. I think James Robinson is going to go off against the Eagles. Absolutely.
I hope so.
Absolutely going to go off against the Eagles. So start James Robinson in your fantasy leagues. I know you already are. I think ETN will get some good touches.
Yeah, you got him for like $8.
Yeah, I got him for pretty cheap in the auction league, but definitely the way to go, man, for sure. Robert Atwood says our defense looks way better than that. Yeah, they haven't played a good defense yet.
No,
have they?
Not at all.
They haven't.
No.
The Eagles haven't played a good defense yet.
No.
Dalvin got 8 carries and then dislocated his shoulders on a guy's ass, said Patrick Jackson.
Yeah, so that's what it was.
But to be fair, the Vikings did try to simulate the run game and the short passing game. So they tried to throw him screens and stuff. And the Vikings were a victim to a lot of drop passes in that game. A lot of drop passes. Poor Kirk Cousins. His receivers did not help him out at all. Not at all. DJM says Jason's on. Robert Atcher says our scheme is so unpredictable. I mean, I think you're going to see jet sweep. You're going to see a run up the middle.
I don't know if you really would call it unpredictable.
I mean, I think it's predictable.
I would. I think it, so. I would. Don't mean to snake off the Athletic. I was watching their podcast the other day. It's pretty much the same play over and over, but just presenting it differently. Just like a different eye candy. So
like what type of play?
Just a lot of mesh and stuff like that. I can't go too in detail, unfortunately.
Right, like kind of,
yeah, for
like
sure.
But kind of what the Eagles do, like that short passing game. I mean, Nick
they know they do well, and they just presented multiple. So what was it last week? It was the touchdown. We did the little out, the little little out. And who did we come back? Was it Ingram and then Kirk on the 2-point conversion?
Yeah,
exactly. Just
yeah. So, I mean, I'm definitely looking to that. So,
Doug's a boss, man. He's so good.
oh, yeah. I love Doug Peterson. Before we move on to what I think will be the Jags' key to winning, any thoughts about what are the Jags going to have to do to stop Hurts?
Ooh.
What's going to have to happen if we win? What's it going to have to look like?
I think be containment-wise. You just can't lose him. And I think as a defense, I don't think he gets more athletic than the Jags. So I think we match up pretty well. But just containment, sound tackling, and so I think we're going to bring a lot of pressure. So,
yeah, I think,
and they have not been pressured a lot this season.
They haven't. No, you're right. I mean, like people have talked about in the chat, I think the Eagles have not played a good defense yet. They haven't played an athletic middle linebacker yet.
No,
I mean, I've watched all 3 games. There's none of these
and Kendricks is a solid linebacker. Don't get me wrong, but he's creeping towards 30, and
none of these teams have the athleticism of a Lucan and Lloyd. None of them. So, I mean...
and then you get to our defensive line, I don't think you need... No, not at all.
Right. So, let's see what happens because they run a lot... I mean, Eagles do a lot of short stuff. They don't beat themselves. I mean, penalties, yeah. I mean, they're like 3rd in the league in penalties. But they don't beat themselves as far as moving the ball forward. They take what the defense gives them. But the Jags defense has shown they can get pressure with 4. Their linebackers are athletic. They can cover. So, I think if we can at least... I think Hurts is going to come out trying to run the ball against us. So if we can contain him, stay disciplined in our lanes, Devin Lloyd is a great matchup.
He's been playing so well.
I think he's a great matchup. So I think that's going to be key on defense to stopping him. Hurts will try to throw it deep if he senses man coverage, but I mean he averages
he's got Brown and Smith.
He's got Brown. Yeah. He's got Brown and Smith and Quez Watkins is pretty good deep.
Speed. Yeah, he's fast.
So, but here's the thing. I mean, the Eagles only average about 3 deep shots a game. They average completing about 1.5 of them per game. So if you can I know, I did the math. So if you can stop that deep try that they're going to do, just to kind of get you loose, you're okay.
Yeah. And going back to you saying they don't hurt themselves, I think Jalen Hurts turnover-worthy plays so far this season is 0.7%. I think Trevor's in the low 2 point something, but still. Insane, yeah. They have not been hurting themselves whatsoever. Yeah, Hurts is playing really well.
I will say their offensive line does hold a lot, and Jalen Hurts has gotten away with a lot of intentional groundings that should have been called.
Okay.
I will say that because I watched every play, and Jalen Hurts had some wonky intentional groundings that weren't called. Whatever, we'll move on.
Hopefully Doug's keeping an eye on that.
Oh, yeah. If I'm Doug, I'm in the ref's ear about that.
It's early.
For sure. Oh, yeah.
That's funny.
All right, so here's how I think the Jags are going to have to win. They're going to have to run the ball between the tackles. Okay, so these next clips right here are going to be all of the opposing teams week 1 through 3 attempting to run the ball through the tackles. And as you watch them, you'll see a common theme. They all work. Especially the Lions. I mean, the Lions this play wasn't up the middle. This play was actually outside.
Was that Samuel?
Yeah, it was outside play. But
we saw that a few times.
Yeah, but I mean, and this is one of the few plays that Dalvin actually ran before. I guess I didn't realize he got hurt, so Patrick brought that up. Good point.
I don't think he got hurt this game. He got hurt last week.
Did he?
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe he got banged up, but I know the injury was last week, I believe.
Sed and Sesko says, "Hey man, how about them Jags?" If we pull off the dub here, we're officially pushing for the playoffs. Absolutely.
Yeah, I would hope so. Yeah, with how bad the division's been as well.
Patrick Jackson says it speaks volumes that they made Fatu Kasi 6th captain this week. D-line is a key to victory. Patrick, you're always one step ahead of me. The next bundle clip is the Eagles trying to run the ball at the middle. So we'll save that for a second. CJ Tieso says, "Oh, yeah, boys. Hey, 2 of us double the fun. Double the fun." The Eagles do not value their linebacker position. Doug is going to expose that.
Yeah, no, I'm not very impressed with their linebackers, honestly.
I mean, if we look at these plays of all the teams running the ball, the Eagles, for all of the cap room and draft picks they've spent, and for all the pass rush they get, they don't do a great job defending between the tackles against the run. That's what makes me think that James Robinson is going to feast. And James Robinson, I think James Robinson has the best vision in the NFL. Number 1.
High claim.
Yeah, I think he has the best vision of any back in the NFL.
Okay.
And I think he's going to feast on these guys.
Jordan
Davis will be good. He's not there yet.
I mean, he will be good, but no, he will be. Yeah, you're right.
But he's just not there yet. I mean, it's going to take him a year. I mean, anytime you're playing in the trenches, it takes a year.
Yeah.
And
freak though, my goodness.
Yeah, I know he is, absolutely. But I mean, teams had success running the ball on the Eagles, and
Those white on green are sick, by the way. I love those jerseys.
The Eagle, I mean,
Yeah, those are
the
sick.
tackling. That's another thing. The tackling has been poor for the Eagles. I mean, you look through the PFF grades. We showed them at the beginning of the show.
Yeah.
Almost all of them have poor tackling grades. I mean, they just are not tackling well, and that's a sign of a good defense.
Yeah, one of the another thing the Athletic podcast said, we've been just technically sound, not making mistakes, hurting ourselves. So it's going to be a good contrast.
So while we're talking about, I want to get back to the offensive running game here in a second, but what are the chances that Mike Caldwell gets a head coaching job next year?
0, but
You think zero?
a hell of a no. Come on, man.
You look at guys like Kevin
Well-
O'Connell getting jobs,
Okay, continue.
and guys off the Sean McVay tree
Okay.
that were quarterbacks coaches,
Okay.
and you don't think a proven D coordinator gets a job?
He's literally the exact opposite of all those things you mentioned.
He's proven, and these guys weren't.
Okay, well, I mean, it's his first year D coordinating, and I wouldn't say the NFL is the best hiring
I mean,
right now.
I was just looking
as
at the
far as-
awards this year.
No, he's legit. I think he absolutely. But as far as a head coach, not a chance.
I think he's a more players coach version of Todd Bowles.
Okay.
I think he runs Todd Bowles' system, but he's a players coach.
Okay.
And players like to play for him. I mean, I was looking at the awards for this week.
Give him a couple years, maybe. But as far as now,
Next year?
not a
Okay.
chance, man.
I mean, Devin Lloyd, AFC Rookie of the Week,
Walker's been playing well.
and Devin White,
Yeah.
NFC defensive, a former Mike Caldwell linebacker.
Yeah.
So the guy's there. I mean, he does it. We need to replace ACLs on all the players. Robinson looks faster. It was Achilles. It was Achilles, wasn't it, for Robinson?
Yeah.
Yeah. And Robinson looks way faster. I mean, Robinson's going to feast on this defense for sure. I mean, if we just need to have the exact same game plan that the Lions did, and we're better than the Lions.
They got a really good offensive line, so
But our defense is better than the Lions,
I think
and we have
our
better
run
skill
game has
position
just
players.
not been particularly.
Our run game.
Our run success, I think it's like bottom 4, and they show the stat like the bottom 4. It's like the Bills, Jags, Ravens, and it obviously shows that the stat doesn't matter. But we have not been successful.
I mean, I think our run game is just different. It's hard to quantify and like run success because
Yeah.
we like run, and then James Robinson busts like a 50-yarder
Yeah.
or busted. I mean, he's busts 2 runs of over 25 yards 2 weeks in a row. So
When is Travis going to bust one?
he's not being utilized as much as I thought.
He runs kind of soft, dude.
I mean, you say every time we watch him play, every time he gets tackled, looks like he's injured.
It looks like he's dying every
It looks
time
like
he
he's
gets
getting
tackled.
injured
Yeah,
every time he
just
gets
die.
tackled. But Robinson, like, he's busting big gains.
Yeah.
Remember, we saw MJD was the same way.
Yeah.
MJD would get 2 yards, 3 yards, 2 yards, 3 yards, then he'd bust a 50-yarder. And then now all of a sudden his average is higher, his total yards is higher.
Yeah.
So
Did you see what his average was?
No,
It's 4.5.
that's great.
It's his career average actually.
That's amazing.
yeah.
That's beautiful. I love that for sure.
Crazy. Like 8 months afterwards.
Patrick Jackson says, I watched the Miami game this evening. Would be interested in your thoughts on Tua going back in last weekend after being deemed fit to start this time out, if it's not too off topic. Go ahead.
I mean, I don't know if he's going to play again this season, honestly. He looks like he's died twice in like 5 days.
That did not look good.
No.
We have a group chat of some big football fans, and my text
Yeah.
was literally Tua's dead.
Yeah.
Tua's
yeah.
dead.
The finger, the gang signs he was throwing up, he looked like he was dying. I don't mean to joke. Yeah, absolutely.
Not good.
No.
Not good. Like
No.
that's the worst thing that could have happened to like the Dolphins.
No, like
in more ways than just losing
Yeah,
Tua. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
it's-
Like trying to cover up a scandal.
I was on a Reddit post like an hour or two before the game, and like there was a bunch of posts like on the concussion side, like no, he didn't get concussion and all this stuff, and it aged like milk. It was so funny seeing it
Aged
happen.
like
yeah,
milk.
it was. All the comments were pretty funny. Yeah, he died on the field, man. That
Yeah.
was horrible.
I mean, I was doing something like when the play happened, so I didn't see the play live, but I looked up at the TV when he was injured,
Yeah,
and I thought that he broke his fingers.
yeah,
Because his fingers were like contorted.
yeah, they were.
And I was like, did he break all
Yeah,
his fingers?
shattered his.
And then I watched
pieces.
replay. I was like, oh
Yeah,
no, that's
yeah,
not good.
yeah.
So
And the worst part was when he's getting carted off. Like usually you get like a little thumbs up, nothing. I was like, dude, he might be paralyzed. It's
Yeah.
not good for a minute.
no, I mean everything
But no,
good.
yeah.
Everything was good there.
I'm glad it's not us. Yeah, the Dolphins are.
All right, so here's some plays of the Eagles running the ball. Okay, so there's no secret that Jalen Hurts is the Eagles running game. Like Miles Sanders, knowing nothing against you. Gainwell, going to do nothing against you.
I
So
forgot they had Sanders, honestly.
exactly. So there are some plays trickled in here of Hurts running, but most of them are just them trying to run and just not being able to. So the Eagles' run game is non-existent.
Yeah, against the best run defense in the NFL so far this season.
So it is going to it's going to come down to the pocket breaking down and Jalen Hurts running, because this is a designed quarterback power. Now, we talked off the air about week 1 against the Lions. They prioritized Hurts running, and then week 2 and 3 they actually prioritized Hurts staying in the pocket. Now, these plays aren't going to like back that up. These are few and far between, but you're going to see a lot of Lions clips because Hurts ran a lot against the Lions. So, do you think Hurts runs a lot against us this week?
Does he run a lot? That's a tough one, man. I really hope we get the pressure. So maybe he's running for his life, hopefully, but that's a tough one. I'm really not sure.
I
know it's a cop-out, but...
No, it's not a cop-out. I mean, it's hard to know because, I mean, the Eagles, we talked about they haven't played a complete game yet, you know?
And one point that I saw made the other day, they just played in the playoffs against each other. Mike Caldwell versus Jalen Hurts not too long ago.
Really?
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Eagles Bucks. So
yeah.
I think if anybody
knows how to stop him.
Yeah, absolutely. So
I love Mike Caldwell.
Yeah, me too. And just because he's running, it doesn't mean it's going to be effective. So maybe him scrambling is. Yeah, Mike Caldwell's a beast, man. I've absolutely loved what I've seen the first few weeks.
I mean, it's weird. Like Hurts has, like, if you look at the plays, he has plays where he has great success running. But if you look at his average is actually pretty low. His average is around around 5 yards, less than that. I think it's like 4.6 yards per rush.
Okay.
So that's not great, considering a quarterback, and so he's quick and he's strong. I mean, this play here, he gets in the end zone. I mean,
it's just bad tackling, though.
And here's another thing. Not only is it bad tackling, there's guys that do it throughout the season. Lamar Jackson. There's guys, but usually you see a lot more of that early in the year, and then as the year goes on and the injuries start to pile up, the tweaked ankle, the tweaked knee or hip, you see the running start to kind of
the Zach Wilson against the Jags.
Yeah, you start to see it dissolve. So I think week 1 you're going to see him at his peak, and then I think the Eagles coaching staff were like, he's not going to survive this season if he runs this much, and they started just. Not running.
And you have A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith throw the ball. Yeah.
Not to mention Dallas Goedert.
Yeah, exactly, for sure.
Magic fan Ben. The Magic starting here soon.
Ooh.
Says Raheem Morris and Byron Leftwich have Super Bowl rings and are still waiting for head coaching opportunities. Doug is going to get the credit for this turnaround long before our D coordinator.
Yeah, I mean, like Caldwell has literally everything. I don't mean to get into it, but yeah, besides being like defensive guy, people of his don't get hired too often. So.
Minority? You can say minority. That word's loud on here.
So they don't get hired too often. I don't mean to make a joke. It's honestly a shame. So, yeah.
That's a fair point.
Who do you think is more likely to get a...
Didn't Raheem Morris get promoted to the head coach?
Yeah, because I don't think Tom Brady liked what's it called. Who do you think is more likely to get a head coaching job if we make the playoffs? Colt or Press Taylor or Caldwell?
I think Caldwell, because Press Taylor doesn't call the plays. Okay. And I know my point was O'Connell didn't call the plays. And
Stefanski didn't call the plays, I don't believe.
Yeah.
So,
Patrick Jackson says, it's not often something on the field makes you feel sick, but Tua's thing did. Haven't felt that queasy since Zach Miller's leg break.
I wouldn't go that far. I mean, it was unfortunate, but...
I don't know. I felt pretty queasy.
Really? There's been some gross plays.
So
man. I know that's in my top 10.
Broken bones is different than like you're not gonna walk the same.
Yeah. Okay.
You know what I mean? Like I've seen ex-players with these head injuries, and it's not pretty.
No, for sure.
I get why the NFL has put such a focus on the brain injuries,
like the ankle injuries and stuff like that. That's what gets me.
You're right, though. I mean, you don't want to see that, though.
For sure.
Robert Attert says Josh is going to eat because Trevon is going to be getting double teamed. Josh Allen. So that's one thing that I actually dug deep into this, and when the Eagles play their backup tight ends, let me see their names.
Who are the backup tight ends?
Jack Stoll and Grant Calcaterra. They run the ball 60% of the time they're in the game. So I know the Jags know that stat, but like. The strong side is going to be – that's why I bring this up, because the strong side, which is Josh Allen's going to be lined up, on the tight ends, He's going to be taking the double teams on mostly run plays.
Okay.
So we'll see how that goes. J Vindictive. Hurts runs kind of bulky, though. Our fast linebackers will snuff him out.
No, he's definitely tough to bring down, but
Should we have a linebacker just stay spied on Hurts when he takes off?
I mean, it might be any time. It could be Josh Allen on one play. I feel like it could be Trayvon on one play. Man, this defense is so athletic.
I think that's what the Vikings and the Commanders tried to do, and I think that's why Hurts had so much success throwing in the middle of the field, because with a spied linebacker, you're giving up your zone drop, and I think that's what happened.
Okay.
So
We might not have to. It's an athletic defense. We might not have to.
yeah, here's some just plays that I thought were impressive, either against the Eagles or for them. And
Once is so bad.
they don't really have a category, so I just put them into one folder, and this is them right here. So there's no logic to these plays, just plays I thought were interesting to watch. Cass Shoots says, I can't wait till the Jags show the world that they are legit. The Eagles game will show how good we really are. Stop the run and let Doug lead the way to 3-1. By stop the run, I think you mean stop Jalen Hurts from running.
Yeah.
CJ Dieso says the Jags linebackers are too fast. Devin Lloyd is going to hit him all day. After the Tua hit last night, I don't think Hurts is going to run that much. Maybe. I mean, but listen, we talked about it. Tua's an accurate passer.
Yeah.
I mean,
Tua or Hurts?
Hurts. Hurts is an accurate passer. That play wasn't. But, yeah. If you give him time, he will pick your defense apart. He really will. P-Jack says it's bad tackling. It looks like our tackling against the Commanders. It's week 1. We'll try not to read too much into week 1.
No pressure. Couldn't tackle. Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah, the tackling was bad there. Ben Haney didn't feel queasy, just terrified of what his mental state will be going forward.
No, I wouldn't be surprised if he doesn't play again this season. Definitely sucks for him.
Yeah, I mean, I like Tua. It's interesting that we're talking about Hurts and Tua at the same time because of the college relationship that they had. But yeah, I mean, you cannot mess around with these head injuries. Like I said, I know a lot of former pro players. I work in the industry. There's guys that played in the early 2000s that have full-time babysitters because their brains just don't work anymore. It's sad.
Yeah,
it's
absolutely.
really sad to see.
They got rocked, especially around that time frame.
Yeah.
My gosh.
So it definitely makes sense of what the NFL is doing. Like you had to do something. Like you had to, because quality of life for these guys was terrible.
Yeah. I hate the going low though. Ugh.
It's just there's no. It's a violent sport.
Yeah.
It's a violent sport. There's no way to get around injuries, which sucks because we all hate injuries.
Like the Gronk when he was getting knocked out all the time with the leg injuries. That stuff was gross,
yeah,
man.
I mean you had to. And that wasn't even a safety thing. It's like you weren't going to take Gronk on.
Oh
above
yeah,
the waist,
even more so. Yeah, for sure. Ugh.
Raiden Shoga says hello. Raiden's a Twitch streamer, so go follow Raiden.
Remember Alan Hearns? That was so disgusting.
Yeah, that was gross.
Dak, all that. My God, man.
We've seen a lot of bad injuries in our day. I mean, we watch football for any amount of time. I mean, I played high school football, and I watched a kid dislocate his hip 3 feet from me. He was squirming on the ground in circles with a dislocated hip. His leg was facing the wrong direction. So if anyone knows anything about gruesome,
Does high school pay for that insurance?
I don't know how
surgery?
it works.
My gosh, man.
I think FHSAA, which is Florida High School, they have some sort of insurance
Just
policy.
being a minor or something like that. My gosh, man.
I mean,
imagine being in debt because you're paying for your hip surgery at 18.
I don't think. I mean, that kid could. There's no way he walked the same the rest of his life.
Jeez.
His leg was not facing the right. It was gruesome. Dang, Ian had me sleep all day. I'm a rewind and start from the beginning. Thank you, Fat Boy Shad. I get it. We started this show kind of early. We were thinking about that. But listen, Mike's here for the night. So I say
for the night.
You already committed to a 3-hour podcast.
So the implications?
Just kidding. We're going to take a short little break. We're going to refill our drinks, go to the bathroom. Get your comments loaded up. Go ahead and put them in the chat. We're coming back. Give us 3 to 4 minutes?
Yeah.
3 to 4 minutes. And we'll be right back. Thank you. It's in the chat. We're not going anywhere. Just hang tight. We'll be right. All right, welcome back, guys. Thanks for hanging out with us for that short little break. I think it was a break that Mike and me both needed. If you don't know Mike, I'm here with Mike. Mike, how's it going?
Good, man.
Mike's been on the show a couple times. He's very knowledgeable about the Jags. So I like to have someone that's knowledgeable talk every once in a while. If you know me, I only bring on people that know their stuff. So
Very used to losing. Absolutely.
Very used to losing.
Yeah.
That's right. Thank you, everyone, in the chat. We're going to try to get to all your comments. Put your Someone had score predictions. That was good. Put your score predictions in the chat. Or any thoughts that you have. This is a Jags show for fans. We started this show because there was a huge vacuum for fan content. And now you're seeing a lot of fan content out there, which I love to see. I love to see the fan content. I think I had like 10 notifications because I like to follow all the Jags YouTubers. Like 10 notifications for Jags-Eagles preview show. And I'm sitting there thinking, like, I'm the last one to do it.
Dang.
I know.
There's a lot.
I love it, though.
All the dogs are eating.
Listen, when the Jags are good, we're all happy. So I'm here for it. Appreciate everyone's in the chat. DTWD says, I was at Dunn and Drew, but we here. Duval. I've never listened to them before, but.
I like Dunn, Andrew. They're both good.
Is this back to the minority thing? Because
I
know you have a big minority thing.
Christ.
Apparently, Mike only
That's dark. That's no, my Christ. No, they are good. I
didn't listen to him. But
Dunn, Vine star from back in the day, big time.
He's what?
Vine, I believe, is what the kids used to call it. Vine.
Vine.
He was a Vine star. Yes.
Okay,
yes.
cool. Yeah, I do know Vine.
Yeah.
I'm old, but not that old.
Vine star, big time.
Monkey D Gaming says predictions for the game chat. He says 28-14 Jags.
Ooh.
I like that score, actually.
Sounds like a jinx.
No, I actually like that score a lot.
28-14?
Yeah.
Ooh.
I like that score.
3 straight weeks of...
No, I do. Like, that's actually kind of where I'm at because I think the Eagles' offense is a little overrated.
Okay.
I mean, listen, we have this. We have the BFF offensive grades here. Like, we know A.J. Brown's going to eat.
Yeah.
We know Devonta Smith's going to get his. And listen, all these guys are just yards after the catch guys. Yeah. I mean, that's all they are.
I wouldn't say they're just after the catch guys.
Listen. A.J. Brown, I know we think of him as like the big, tall, jump ball guy.
I think they can do it all.
But all year, all he's done is the yards after the catch.
Okay.
So that's all he's done so far.
But I feel like they can do everything.
Okay.
They're good.
Let's change the color here for fun. Jalen Hurts is going to get his.
Chargers colors, huh?
Jalen Hurts is going to get his. Okay. Lane Johnson, okay. I've watched him get beat a lot. I mean, look at this. This is a 74 run blocking grade. 85 pass blocking grade, but I've seen him get beat.
He's getting old, man.
Jason Kelsey has been good.
He is old as well.
77 grade. I mean, 80 pass block again. Not a great run block grade. Miles Sanders, you said you forgot about him.
Yeah, absolutely.
My dude's had 56 passing snaps and 46 running. That's not a great average for a running back. You never want to have more passing snaps than you do running snaps as a running back.
I mean, depends who it is. Kamara.
Not when you're a
Eckler.
3. Is Miles Sanders one of those guys? And even those guys.
I mean,
Kamara would be the only one.
Okay.
Miles Sanders is not one of those guys.
I do find it funny. Do you remember those old, disgusting Eagles jerseys, the yellow and blue ones? By chance? What are the chances of those ugly colors?
Those weren't bad. I was like, I like ugly jerseys.
Those jerseys, not that we could show them on the screen, but my God, those things.
I like ugly jerseys, though.
My gosh.
Look at this.
I forgot about those.
You don't want Miles Sanders in pass protection.
No.
That's for sure.
And that's a big step that ETN's taken the last couple weeks. He's definitely
ETN has, I think he's been good.
Week 1, I think he struggled a little bit, but the last 2 weeks, he's
good at identifying a blitzer. And like, not even like his man. He's good at identifying like a late blitzer, which I love.
And he
ETN.
will sacrifice his body to that block as well, for sure. It looks like a car wreck.
Yeah, I agree.
Goddard's
been good, but we looked at his numbers. Like, let's look at these. So we went back to Goddard's numbers where I think he's here. Not as impressive as you'd think.
No, I don't really think. I mean, he reminds me of Hawkins. I think he's just a very solid tight end. I don't think he's a Mark Andrews. I don't think he's a Kelsey.
He's had 2 receptions over 10 yards. Isn't that mind blowing?
Yeah.
For all we've talked about, Jalen Hurts is throwing 2 receptions over 10 yards. I mean, look at this. 3 screens.
Yeah.
3 screens behind the line of scrimmage. 4 for 4 on the left. Usually they have him like leaking out. If we draw a little play here, they have him here and just leaking out here on a drag.
Look at that play art.
You like that?
Yeah.
I mean, not impressive numbers for my boy Dallas. I don't know.
Jags just going to keep everything in front of him and just blitz.
Yeah. Force him to make a turnover. That's what we've done all year. And we've forced turnovers.
Yeah.
Eagles have not. Let's get to some of these comments here. Sorry if I'm a little behind. I'm using my phone here so you guys know how that is. I I'm way behind. Holy moly. Sorry, guys. Alana's dad, I'm going to try to catch up quickly. If I miss the comment and it's a good one, you guys know the rules. Just type it again. There's no one in the chat like judging you. This is a Jags show for fans. I'm a fan. Mike's a fan. You ever gotten $1 from the Jags?
No.
And neither have I.
No.
So we're
Gotten a lot of overpriced beer and horrible food, but
ET's dad says Tim Jones is a deep threat.
guess we'll see.
But hopefully Zay Jones can go. That's how you feel, probably?
Hopefully Zay Jones plays.
D. Steiny, when do we see Pryor?
I don't want to see to Jones or Pryor. This reminds me when everybody wanted to see who was it? That guy from the Longhorns that we had for a minute, Colin Johnson. Remember everybody wanted Colin
You know who
Johnson?
screwed us though was Alan Lazard. That's who screwed us.
Not really.
Because until Alan Lazard, like no one had really like manifested themselves from like the practice squad. Alan Lazard killed us because we could always say to coaches.
Did it though? I feel like he's okay. I mean,
Okay, he's like their best receiver.
oh, the worst receiver group in the NFL. Yeah, seriously, come on, man.
The tallest midget. Yeah, but I'm with you there. I hope we don't see Pryor or Jones.
No.
Like hopefully Agnew just
No,
steps up.
I mean, hopefully we do, but it's 50-0 and we're playing the backups.
All right, so
and
let me
we're
ask you
winning,
this.
of course.
Mike, you watch a lot of football. Kirk. Okay, this is taking Zay Jones out. Kirk, Ingram, Agnew. Who's next?
Marvin Jones Jr.
Marvin Jones Jr. I
Okay.
knew I was forgetting one. So those are your
I would
four.
play Dan. I don't know if I played Dan Arnold first before Tim Jones, and
I
I did. I mean, there's nothing against him, but I mean,
nothing against Tim Jones, but like
Tim Jones had 600 yards receiving 4 years in college. I mean, I don't understand what the whole hype is about these dudes. I mean, the practice guys. I appreciate him, and I appreciate the
he
grind.
played good
and
in
dudes.
preseason. That's the hype. What do you mean? The hype's understandable.
Really, I haven't seen anybody play really well in preseason and then not do anything.
I know.
He's a Jag, and I'm rooting for him.
I'm
But
with
I
you.
really just don't want him to see the field.
Cash Shoot says Tim Jones has got hands. He does. Cass also says 21-17 Jags.
Okay.
Wait, how do you feel about that score?
And I was actually thinking of the other Jones. Who's the other Jones that was from Notre Dame?
We had
Who's the guy that we?
the defensive Jones.
No. He's another receiver. They're all the same thing. I mean, I really hope they do well, but
D. Steiny says I feel Etienne is due to break one for a long touchdown.
that's what I've been thinking.
You think Etienne's the guy? Do you
This-
line up
I wouldn't
Etienne
be-
at receiver over Tim Jones?
I wouldn't hurt, honestly. No, I'm not gonna say
He says 28-21 Jags.
How much? What?
28-21.
I take that. It's gonna be a close game, hopefully.
What do you think the score will be?
I'm not gonna predict. So.
What if you weren't to predict? But let's say you're a statistician and you're putting your highest percentage at a score at the end of the game. What would that highest percentage score be?
I mean, as a Jags fan, I expect
Not
us.
as a Jag-
I
I mean-
expect us to lose. But
Okay.
I hope it's
Not
competitive.
hope. What do you think it'll be? Give me a score.
28-31. I have no idea, honestly. I haven't even thought
28-31.
I haven't thought about it for a second. at
Well,
this
it's
point.
obviously the second
Yeah.
because I asked you and you took like 10.
Yeah, I haven't thought about it.
Robert Atwood says defense wins the game 17-9.
17-9? My gosh, where are these scores coming from?
Robert, I'm with you there.
17-9.
Our D is
how do you even
getting
score?
slept on.
17.
Our D is getting. Who's going to beat us?
Is that 3 field goals? Or is that a touchdown and a missed extra point?
17?
9. Oh, doesn't make any sense. Sorry.
Yeah, no, yeah. Who beats
Just
us
disregard
here?
the dumb person.
Does AJ Brown beat us?
AJ Brown's good.
Does
I
AJ Brown
understand.
kill us?
Devontae Smith.
Does AJ Brown kill us?
I mean, he has before. Multiple
Will he
times.
kill us?
It sounds like a huge jinx for him to say.
Does Devontae Smith kill us?
He could, absolutely.
Does Jalen Hurts kill us?
They absolutely all could.
Does Lane Johnson kill us?
He absolutely could. It's not a bad team.
Does Jason
These are-
Kelsey kill us?
Absolutely.
Does Miles Sanders kill us?
Probably not.
Okay. It took me 6
Yeah, he
players.
might. He
It
might.
took me six-
He might. Who knows, man? Any given Sunday, dude.
Well, doomsday and gloomsday, Mike over here.
Yeah, I'm just a
Monkey
Jags
D
fan.
Gaming says, I think our D gets a touchdown as well.
Ooh, who scores the touchdown?
Devin Lloyd on a pick
Devin
six.
Lloyd? Okay.
No, you know what's going to be? It's going to be a fumble. Listen, here, just hit Jalen Hurts really hard.
What's it called? Trayvon Walker's peanut punch last week? My gosh.
Was that Trevon Walker that did that?
Yeah. The hammer punch?
That
My
wasn't
gosh.
Trevon, was it?
Yeah. The John Jones.
Whew.
The
That was
hammer.
beautiful.
Could you imagine that hitting you?
That was beautiful.
How does that not fracture somebody's wrist? Like, I'd be really upset if I'm just getting punched around like that. in the
No,
field.
yeah,
breaking my hand.
Yeah.
That thing did not look fun.
Duval till we die says Devin Lloyd with a pick six.
That would be awesome.
We're on the same
Played
page there.
well.
Uh,
What about Cisco getting someone finally?
he had a pick
Or
last
cornerback.
game. Or did he have a pick 2 games ago?
Yeah.
Yeah. Noman Muhammad says, big fan of yours from London.
Mm.
Noman, if you're still, I know I'm behind on the comments. If you're still watching, Patrick and me are huge Stevenage FC fans.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you wouldn't.
I bet you couldn't even spell that.
What are you talking about?
Yeah.
For the borough.
Oh. I thought you were a Nottingham fan.
Nope.
Oh,
Stevenage FC.
Okay.
Robert Atchert, big ham going to work. Kelsey. You think Hamilton? What do you think of that matchup between Hamilton and Kelsey?
Who?
Devon Hamilton and Jason Kelsey?
Honestly, for a split second, I was like, why would Hamilton be on Travis Kelsey? I was really confused for a second. Yeah. No. Devon Hamilton's played really well this year. So.
He played well last game.
One thing, a good point I've seen is Jason Kelsey is not the lengthiest offensive lineman. Their interior is not either.
Their interior is terrible.
Getting some stunts. Imagine Trayvon Walker or Josh Allen or those long limb dudes going on. And I know Jason Kelsey is one of the greatest centers of all time, but
I mean, look at this.
He's old and short.
Let's look at their grades here on their offensive line. So Lane Johnson with a 78.1. And listen, pass blocking grade has helped him more than his run blocking grade, if you look at that. And
which I would be okay with.
Yeah. And then Jason Kelsey, same thing. He's been okay. But then after those two guys, after your center and your left tackle, who I arguably don't think have played that well on film, your right tackle is 11th.
I believe he's
with
the
a
left
60
tackle.
grade.
He's the left tackle. Lane Johnson's the right.
Okay. So your
He's a
left
beast.
tackle's
Well, he's really good.
not according to PFF.
In real life, he's a monster.
So you think this 60.2 and 68.2 and 52.1 is misleading?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. So then
Juwan
you have
Taylor's played really
Landon
well this year.
Dickerson, 57.1.
He's definitely their weak link for sure. Is Landon Dickerson? Absolutely.
Terrible grades.
Yeah.
Terrible. Your guard.
Does he start?
Opeta.
Does he start?
11 snaps. No.
Okay.
Okay.
Who's the right guard?
Sumalo.
Okay, there he is.
Yeah.
There he is.
Isaac Sumalo.
It's a good offensive line. It's a top 5 offensive line in the NFL.
I doubt that. I disagree.
Really? Name 5 better.
5 offensive lines better?
Yeah.
The Jaguars.
Than the Eagles?
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Yes.
I know it says Jaguars United, but
Who
my
would
goodness.
you rather have? Cam Robinson or
Mailata for sure.
Mailata? You'd rather have Mailata than Cam
Absolutely.
Robinson.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, at left guard, would you rather have
Barcher or Dickerson?
Yeah. Is that a wash? That's a wash. That's
Probably
a wash.
Dickerson just because of the pedigree.
The pedigree.
Yeah.
Is the name. Yeah. Okay, Kelsey. I'll give you
Or
Kelsey.
Fortner.
And all right, I'll give you
Sure,
Kelsey
for
right
sure.
off the bat.
Sure.
Sheriff for sure. And then Juwan Taylor or
the Hall of Famer Lane Johnson. No,
But you
and
even said they're getting old.
Javonte has played really well this year.
even so they're getting old. All right, let's go back to some Tua throws here.
Who?
I keep saying Tua. Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts
Sorry, I
throwing.
told that for a second.
Yeah, no. All right, back to the comments. I can't get the Alabama Tua Hurts thing out of my head.
Hey,
That was wild.
what are the chances we hear Dixieland Delight at Hoptinger tonight?
I'm not going to hop with you.
That song, I'm so tired of hearing that.
Predator
song.
says I'm going to be real sad if we don't draft wide receiver first this year.
I mean, the 32nd pick is not that early.
Is Is this the latest you've ever gone without looking at the draft? Like mock
yeah,
drafts?
absolutely.
Yes,
Maybe
yeah.
2017.
Yeah,
but yeah,
no, this
I
is
haven't,
the-
not even.
I don't even-
Not,
I don't
not even a
care.
second. I've
Yeah.
been getting like notifications for like the top 50 board. Not even for a second have I looked.
Yeah, I know. I love it.
It's beautiful.
Christian Armento says Tim Jones. Ben Haney says Kevin Austin Jr.
Is that the one from Notre Dame?
Texas or Notre Dame?
Notre Dame.
Notre Dame.
That's
Yeah,
good.
yeah,
One
yeah.
from Notre Dame. Where's Tim Jones from? Nebraska?
I think so.
Okay.
Somewhere Midwesty. Volkfang, channel member Volkfang. You too can be a channel member. Just click on the Be a Member channel. We have 3 different levels.
They actually blocked your YouTube channel.
Yeah, that makes sense. Trevor is going to throw for 420 yards, 69 rushing yards.
That would be impressive. 6.9 yards per carry would have been better, but yeah.
You get it 420, 69?
Yeah, I picked up on that. Yeah, thank you.
Nice one, Volk. Predator, for real. Love me some Marvin Jones, but I'm tired of watching all the wide receiver tape to get one in the 5th or not at all.
Another one that gets rocked every time he gets tackled. I feel like every time Marvin Jones gets tackled,
He
he might not get up. Yeah, he's old. He's getting rocked, dude.
Jesse Davis says Eagles have the best O-line in football. 4
Yeah,
Pro Bowlers.
4 Pro Bowl. Collectively in their career, I think.
What O-lines would you put over them? I don't think their run blocking is any good at all. I think their run blocking is below average. Do you disagree? I've watched 3 weeks of them not be able to run the ball.
The highlight reel that I've been watching on repeat the last hour. I was kidding. No, I mean, I think who cares about run blocking? I mean, Would you rather have
Okay,
100%,
okay,
100
all right,
grade
yeah.
pass blocking and 20%
Yeah.
run
I
blocking,
guess you're
or
right. I mean, you know
or
me personally.
or
I like to
80
run the ball.
20 or
I like
80
to run the
80?
ball.
Yeah,
I like to
gotcha.
run the ball. I like to.
I
Run
don't think it matters anymore, man.
I like to run the ball.
Okay.
I'm a big proponent of running the ball. I get the NFL's move to everything like that, but that's why I love Kyle Shanahan. That's why I love his offense, as he prioritizes running the ball, and I love it. And I think the Eagles run the ball decently, but Hurts is like their number one running back. Like Hurts is their number one runner. So that's who we're gonna have to stop. We've talked about that ad nauseum, I think. Irish Jags fan says Marquez Callaway, was he not a guy who played well in the preseason and ended up being good?
Who?
Marquez Callaway for the Saints. Remember him?
Yeah. He's fighting for 4th and 5th behind Olave.
Olave's like
Landry.
one. Are you kidding?
Behind Landry, behind Michael Thomas. I mean, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it, but
Cody Jackson says LFG Duval. Volk Fang says, I think Josh Allen is leading the league in forced fumbles and Lloyd is leading in pass breakups. This defense is playing even better than most think.
it's been fire so far. I mean,
It's been amazing.
It's one of how many teams are top 5 in DVOA on?
5 teams.
No.
Or top 5.
On offense and defense. So
Oh,
I
okay.
think there's only one team. I think it's only the Jags so far.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I like that. P. Jack says Jason is such a huge Stevenage fan he can't even pronounce it.
Yeah, seriously. My gosh, it's the most English thing I've ever heard. American thing I've ever heard.
Oh, sorry, P. Jack. Just got
And
here.
I noticed you named your favorite coaches. You left somebody out, by the way.
Excuse me?
You left somebody out on your coaches that you followed.
Coaches.
Yeah, you named Shanahan. There's a few coaches you named, but you left one out.
Urban?
No. Famous Tallahassee coach, high school, all-time leading
Bob
wins.
Bowden?
No, Gene Cox. Come on, dude.
I don't know where you're going with
Your
this.
uncle, your grandpa, whatever it
Okay.
is.
My uncle is one of the greatest high school coaches of all time, but if anyone wants to know. I feel like people are always like, how does this guy know football?
Yeah.
It's like, well,
Is it 'cause of
I had a
him?
family member that wrote books on
Yeah.
football.
I was going to bring up the book that,
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Cody Jackson just got here. Say what's up to Cody. Cody
Is that Patrick? Is that Patrick's brother?
Good question. Same last name. There's a bunch of Joneses on the Jags.
Yeah, apparently it's.
Yeah. UCF Jaguars says, what's up,
It
boys?
reminds me of Colin. It really does remind me of the Colin Johnson. I got booed one night bringing up Colin Johnson, like literally like hated, and then he got traded or cut weeks later.
Yeah.
People love the
People love to hate you.
no, but that
You're the villain.
People
You're a
love the
villain.
backups for some reason.
How does it feel to be a villain?
Oh,
A channel villain.
I don't even know what that means.
UCF Jaguars says, what's up, boys? What's up, UCF? I'm so behind on comments, boys. That's my bad. Jesse Davis says, PFF ranks the Eagles number 1.
Wow. What do you think the Jags rank in that?
Don't know.
Not good.
We can look it up.
Not good at all. I think bottom 6.
Astrid says, it's funny Marvin Jones went from number 1 wide receiver to number 3 wide receiver. I mean, being 32.
Yeah, I was going to say, well, 3 years between that, and he is good, but
I mean, you remember when he killed it in Detroit?
absolutely,
Yeah, it was like
multiple
late
years.
20s.
Cincinnati, he was sick too.
Yeah.
He's a really good receiver. He's really good
he
for-
is.
and great for the locker room.
I'm glad.
Yeah,
I'm
I
glad
like
we
Marvin
have him.
Jones a lot.
Yeah. I mean, and he's like, even thinking back to next year, he's consistently caught the ball.
Yeah. I went on a rabbit hole. Do you remember Zay Jones' like weird, like few years there in Buffalo?
In Buffalo?
Yeah.
I think of his Oakland years as weirder.
No, Buffalo. He like got arrested at one point and
Oh,
like
did he?
tried to like throw himself out of a building.
Oh, no. I don't
Yeah,
know
yeah.
that
His
at all.
brother. So his brother's an NFL player. Played for the Vikings.
Zay Jones' brother?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I guess they're out in a hotel one night, and I don't know if it was PCP or just bipolar or what. He like tried to throw himself out of a building.
Huh.
Yeah. So
I
he was a bust. He was at one point he was like NCAA's all-time receptions leader in the season, like insane. Didn't play well in Buffalo. That whole episode.
Where'd he go to college?
Eastern Carolina,
Huh.
which I remember him in college.
Okay.
Yeah, but didn't play well in Buffalo. Kind of played well last year in Oakland. But yeah,
Huh.
interesting career, man. For
Yeah.
sure.
I
like him a lot.
Yeah.
He seems like a good dude. Remember when he was getting roasted for his haircut?
Yeah, I mean, look at it.
That is accurate.
He's going to be one of those guys that's like 10 years ahead of his time. And like in 10 years, everyone's going to have that haircut. And they're going to be like, Zay Jones is the first to do it.
No, he seems cool though, honestly.
Because trends
I like the group that we brought in this year.
Me too.
Yeah.
I was skeptical at first of Zay Jones, not going to
Yeah.
lie. But
And Kirk.
Matthew McCrae says, make sure to hit that like, y'all. Yeah, hit the thumbs up. Our videos have been doing really well recently.
I'll give it a thumbs down just for me being on the show, but
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
But hey, our videos have been doing really well recently. I'd shout out to the fans. You guys know that I'm humbled by you guys. I love you guys. I do this show because of the fans. So, because I'm a fan. It's like we're just fans. This This is conversations that Mike and me have had our entire lives.
Yeah.
So
That we'll have later on, probably right after this.
Yeah, exactly. What we found is that if you go on YouTube, there's hundreds of other fans that also are having the same conversation. So this is what we are. That's why it's called Jags United. It's a fitting name, isn't it?
Yeah, very.
Forget Defensive Rookie of the Year. If Lloyd maintains this pace, he has a real chance at Defensive Player of the Year.
Ooh, I don't know about that.
Why? Why? Because he's young?
No, I just...
Because a guy like Devin White out there, whose PFF grade is like sub 50?
Can you name the last linebacker that did win?
I can't name the last player that won it.
I believe it was T.J. Watt.
Who?
T.J. Watt?
T.J. Watt?
Yeah.
Who is not eligible this year, correct?
Because he hurt his bicep?
Yes.
Okay. He's not eligible?
Right.
What if he came back in the last half of the season and had 30 sacks? Don't assume. But no, I mean, a linebacker, nah. I mean, I love Devin Lloyd, but nah.
Didn't Devin White win recently?
No, not even slightly. The last one to win it was Luke Kuechly, I believe.
Although
Bobby Wagner should have won it maybe at one point.
Big Bobby Wagner stan, huh? Patrick Jackson says it's pronounced the same as the name Steven in the word age. Steven Age. Well, now I know.
Stevan Edge. I like that.
DTWD says, I'm sitting here watching the film running of all the passing for the Eagles. I'm noticing that not any of the teams that played against the Eagles the last 3 weeks.
Look at these linebackers. 34 and 44.
Hands up. No, you're right. I know. We should probably change it.
It looks pretty bad, honestly. I have not been impressed by the throws. And now that I say that,
he's accurate. No, he's really accurate. He's really accurate. Trust me. I watched every snap of all 3 games. He is very accurate. I haven't seen a
throw longer than 10 yards.
He doesn't. That's what I'm saying. No, but being accurate inside 10 yards is hard to do in the NFL.
Is it, though?
Yes.
Not really.
How many years
did Gardner Minshew ate in those 10 yards.
No, he didn't. He had success, but he didn't eat.
He didn't eat?
No. And he couldn't run the way Jalen does. I mean, no. Like he's 85% on passes under 20 yards.
Why are you yelling at me? My goodness.
Because I can't believe you'd even sit here and say these throws aren't impressive. He's 85% passing on throws under 20 yards.
Okay.
That's 8.5 out of 10 throws.
Okay.
He completes.
Okay.
You're telling me that's not impressive?
And it is impressive, but I'm saying the throws that he's making they're not wow throws.
But he's making all of them. He's making all of them.
Okay.
That's what makes him good.
Can he make them against a good
hope
defense? Like who are the Vikings cornerbacks? Who are the Commanders cornerbacks? Who are the Lions quarterbacks?
I mean,
trash. Who are their safeties? Trash. All those are ours as well. Besides Cisco.
I mean, that's a good point. It's a good point. Marvin Jones is one of the most underrated wide receivers in the league.
Absolutely.
Says Jesse. Cash shoots. The Jags are younger and faster and better at stopping the run. Plus, we're hungry, so we're going to eat. Christian Armento says Tyson or Shaq on A.J. Brown. So I thought going into the year, Tyson would be the guy that followed around the number 1, but he doesn't.
I don't think you need to do that anymore.
Okay.
Though. We have 3 really good quarterbacks.
I'm just saying they're not gonna lock him up 1-on-1.
Okay.
They're gonna give Shaq Griffin plays like the left side of the field.
Okay.
No matter what.
Okay.
And I think Tyson.
I kind of like that though, honestly.
I mean, I don't think Shaq Griffin's as good as people.
No, I saw a comment earlier. Is he a guaranteed cut? I'd be very disappointed if he's not, honestly.
I mean, did we look better with Herndon than we did with Griffin?
I mean, at least on par. But no, before the season, I was looking at people we would cut. Shaq Griffin needs to be gone, honestly.
Because of the contract.
Yeah.
Contract's not, unless we restructures, perhaps.
Not worth it.
What's up with Zay Jones? Is he playing?
I don't know. I saw something about an ankle today. Who knows? Hopefully.
C. Breacher says Micah Parsons is going to win DPOY.
Maybe. There's some really good players.
And who else? Micah, who else? What do you think?
Some pass rushers. I mean, if Myles Garrett doesn't
hit someone with a helmet.
Yeah, or get killed in a car accident. Or who else, honestly, who's been playing well. Pass rushers, man. There's a lot of good pass rushers.
Aiden Hutchinson.
Ugh.
3 sacks the other day. All right. Let's get off these. Let's go on Eagles running the ball. No, let's just go random plays.
Oh, my gosh. Rob. Us.
Questionable with an ankle, says Patrick Jackson. Jalen Hurts has just under 1,000 yards passing in 3 games.
It's pretty good. Absolutely. I mean, 400 of them were last game, so.
That's true. He's 85%.
Yeah.
From under 20.
No, I like Jalen Hurts, but I'm saying the throws he is making. It's the bend, don't break kind of throws, marching down the field. That's a good throw right there, though.
Yeah. That's a good throw. That's what I'm saying. Like
Yeah.
he takes. Like I told you,
He's
averages
a good
3
quarterback,
shots
don't get me wrong.
a game, and those 3 shots are just enough to keep your safeties and corners backed up.
I don't remember. I was ESPN. It was like, no, it wasn't even ESPN. It was like the CBS crew. It was Bill Cowher. It was Phil Simms, I believe. And they were saying, who would you take, Hurts or Kyler Murray? Who would you take?
I would take Kyler Murray.
It was unanimous, Jalen Hurts. I was
Wow.
very, very surprised to see that. Yeah.
I think Murray throws as good as Hurts and then runs better.
Yeah. I like Kyler Murray a lot, but I guess that contract.
I wasn't factoring that in.
No, I'm not talking about that. The whole study
Yeah.
stipulation. Remember that? I think
Yeah.
that's just kind of sour.
My
people.
boy likes to play Call of Duty.
Yeah, I know. And his coaches.
I like Call of Duty.
What's it called?
Cliff Kingsbury.
Yeah, come on, like.
Minshew had a perfect QBR week 1 in the Colts game.
That was so long ago. What was he, like 17 of 18 or 18 of 19 or something like that?
He did this similar, like you said, the same thing. Yeah.
Yeah. One and done, not satisfied. What a post, man.
To be fair, Rayshawn Jenkins has been much better recently. Wasn't a big fan after last year, but he's much improved.
Easily one of the worst Jaguars I've ever seen in my entire life.
Here's what kills me.
And worst contract.
Here's what kills me about Rayshawn. Like, he has definitely played himself into redemption mode this year. Even in the preseason, I thought he's played as a box safety outstanding. He really has.
There's no chance he's on the team next year.
I agree. But what killed me last year was the fighting and the after the whistle stuff.
Bunch of penalties.
Yeah,
taunting,
like getting
dude,
kicked out of games.
We're getting
like,
whipped, and you're taunting.
Yeah, no,
that
that's
was
what.
pathetic.
And he was a captain, and he
Yeah.
was doing all that stuff. So that's what killed me.
Yeah, no.
Trey did step up for being outside. Trey Herndon.
Who?
Trey Herndon.
What was that?
He stepped up.
Yeah, he did. He played very well.
He did. I haven't seen that Trey Herndon.
Yeah, I thought Darius Williams played really well, and then I looked at his PFF grade. It was horrible. Rayshawn Jenkins with his pass breakups and playing well against the run. Went to look at his grade. Horrible. The worst 2 graded players on the team.
Why was it? What's stat? Because sometimes like if they pass rush one time and they get blocked,
I'd have to look,
you know
but
what I mean?
I know that Rayshawn had 3 or 4 pass breakups. He had, I think he had either 1 or 2 tackles for loss, and I was like, okay, Rayshawn's gonna be really highly graded, 40s, I think.
See, that's what. But yet, I mean, you have to look at the whole thing.
I have to look. We'll have to pull it up, but I was just very surprised because I thought there was a pass breakup Darius had early on in the game.
I mean, he definitely seemed like the defensive back was better last week, but you can see even with these guys that were on the team last year. I mean, they're all stepping up this year. You're a product of your environment. You look at guys like Roy Robertson Harris, Devon Hamilton, Rayshawn Jenkins.
Yeah.
These guys are all playing significantly better.
Yeah.
The only person who hasn't visibly elevated their game is Shaq Griffin.
Yeah, maybe played worse.
Yeah, and so that's what leads me to think like I'm tough on guys. I really am, because I think this game's about Jimmys and Joes. I think X's and O's, as far as coaches, I think they're all the same.
You got to have both.
You do, but I think there's a smaller margin between coaches than there are players. And it comes down to to Jimmys and Joes. So I'm tough on these guys when they don't perform. And I respect them as people and respect them as athletes, but I can be tough on them at the same time. So seeing guys like Roy Robertson Harris, who has completely elevated his game.
Well, he was injured early last year.
Okay, so I didn't really factor that in.
Yeah,
but like,
he was injured.
He had no production.
It was like the first few weeks he had a high ankle sprain, correct?
Is that what
early,
it was?
Yeah, very early. And we've talked about it. I mean, I think he was top 20 in pressures when he became healthy. Yeah, he played really well last year. I still hate the contract, but
I mean, he's proving it now.
Yeah. Is he on the team next year?
I don't know.
I don't know if that entire free agency class will be
So
on the
those
team
guys
next
we
year.
just named: Roy Robertson Harris, Shaq Griffin. Who's the other?
Rayshawn Jenkins.
So you
Marvin Harrison and Agnew. Marvin Harrison, I meant Marvin Jones.
I think Jones and Agnew are gone. I think out of those 5, one of them restructures. Maybe Roy Robertson Harris.
How would you restructure that? Resign? I mean, I guess they do have time left on their contracts.
Okay, so they re-signed for cheap.
No, I mean, they
Yeah.
might be able to restructure. You might
Right.
be right.
So I think because it's the contract that's killing these guys.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right. So if Roy Robertson Harris restructures his deal to take less money, but guarantees his entire contract, that's a guy I can see saying.
Is that worth it though?
I think that's the guy I think would be worth it.
Okay.
Because I think you can replace Shaq Griffin. I think you can replace Agnew. I think you can replace Marvin Jones.
I think you can replace RRH
and
as
I
well,
think you can
though,
replace
honestly.
Jenkins, but D linemen are harder to replace.
I think we could replace all of those, honestly.
Maybe. We'll have to see how the rest of the season goes. But So I'm with you there. But I would say if Roy Robertson-Harris continues his trajectory, he's the one that's hardest to replace.
Okay.
So I think you have the flexibility to restructure somebody. I think he's the leading candidate.
Okay. That's between those 5. That's like $40 million right there.
No, I mean, it's a lot of money we're going to free up
gosh.
for sure. Robert Atwood says Rayshawn is better than Griffin.
They're both honestly pretty trash.
Rayshawn's playing better this year. Well, let's see. Rayshawn and RRH are in the same boat. They're playing better. I like how Rayshawn's playing in the run game.
Yeah.
I really like how he's sealing the backside edge. He's coming downhill.
He made some tackles last week.
Yeah,
sure.
no, I mean, I like him this year.
Yeah.
And I was tough on him last year.
No, last year was
I was tough on him last year. I think we get 4 sacks. Too strong, too fast, baby. Let's go, says Cody Jackson. Let's change it up. Let's go to the Eagles run offense here. How's the chat fantasy team, says Donald Johnson.
Oof, I'm 0-3. My gosh.
Okay, so I had my chat do a fantasy team. Good question, Donald. So let me
You're
pull.
in 9th place, 7th, 10th.
That's not the league that the chat did.
Well, I exposed myself, so never mind.
The league the chat did, I am 1-2, and we should have won week 2. Week 1.
Sure that's not the same one?
Yeah. We should have won week 1, but the problem was we didn't start James Robinson, and we lost because of that. 1-2, and
that's not Matt Araiza's punting party?
No.
Okay.
This is
Great name, by the
different.
way.
Yeah. This is Urban's All-Stars.
Ew.
So I let the chat pick the team. I should be 2-1. I didn't start James Robinson week 1. That was on me. But if this makes you feel better, I'm tied for 2nd place in my division, and I have the 2nd highest scoring team in the league. So although I am 1-2, chat, you guys have the 2nd high. And listen, we have 396 points for. The leader has 399 points for. So I am 3 points off of the leader of the league in points for.
Wow.
That's how good you guys picked. And I didn't start James Robinson week 1.
Who are you playing against?
This is a Ponte Vedra Club Cart Guys League. Yeah.
So they drafted for you. Gotcha.
That's
pretty funny.
The chat.
Yeah, I gotcha. That's awesome, actually.
No, and they're doing really well.
That's really
They're doing
funny,
really
actually.
well.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
I've been seeing the all Jags teams doing really well.
What do you mean?
Just people drafting all
Oh,
Jags.
yeah, no,
And
yeah,
that
for
used to be
sure.
like the kiss of death. Opposite.
In that league, no, that's what we did in the
Yeah.
chat. They all
Okay,
roasted me.
okay.
We drafted Kirk and Robinson and Etienne. Okay, Donald Johnson says, "No, I'm late. The best Jags content."
Another Johnson.
out there."
My gosh.
Donald, are you related to Marvin
I think,
or
I
Zay?
think Tim's texting his family, "Hey, get me on the podcast. I need some snaps next week." My gosh.
Tim, we need Tim Jones. Apparently, you guys are all related. Donald, thank you for saying that we're the best Jags content. I appreciate that. We have that kind of stuff makes me feel so good because I love this. This is so much fun. I do this as like a fun hobby. Some people hike, some people surf.
Yeah, he'll be yelling this later at Philly's Finest.
If you're in Jacksonville, DM me
Should we take over that bar Sunday?
DM me if you live in Jacksonville. DM me
How
about
funny
where we're watching.
How
this
funny
game.
would it be to take over Philly's Finest for
We're
a
taking
Jags
over
game?
an Eagles bar. So hit me up on Twitter if you're looking for a good time.
That's a genius idea.
Good time on Sunday.
That's awesome.
Robert Ashford says Agnew is an elite returner.
He is. That's a lot of money for him to be elite. He's making like $5 million.
Yeah, and I mean, the returners aren't as valuable as they used to be.
Yeah, like
back in the Devin Hester days.
And first and foremost, his his returns have been horrible. Punting and kick returns have been trash, honestly.
That's true. I mean, yeah, you're right though.
I think he's been a better receiver / runner than he has been. Yeah.
Moon Illusion says, "Oh, I'm late again."
We had $1 for every time we heard that tonight.
A lot of people are late. You know why? You hit that bell. There's a bell somewhere that allows you to get notifications. And we do shows Tuesday and Fridays, so just be looking for Tuesday. And follow my Twitter. My Twitter, I literally post on Twitter what time the shows are going to be. They're between usually 7 and 9. I know I'm not consistent, but I'm a Jags fan. I'm not a professional YouTuber, so some people out there are professionals. I'm seeing the thumbnails some of these guys are
I
making.
can tell.
Okay, here's a little bone I have to pick with you guys. Okay, I look at like these like YouTube channels that just like post the most like generic. Is Trevor Lawrence the real deal? And they have like 10,000 views in like one day, and they're the most generic videos.
I don't think those are real. I think they're.
I don't. They're not real views.
Yeah. No.
I think you're right.
Yeah.
Glad to see you, Moon, says Patrick. I have one all Jags D Or I'm sorry, I have one all Jags fantasy team and I'm undefeated, says John Haney. Just realized we have an opportunity to go 3-0 in the division by early October.
Play the Colts next week, and then Texans after that.
I thought, are we not in London? When are we in London?
The 24th, I think.
Okay.
Whatever, something at the end of the month.
Jaggernaut says, "What's up, Jags United? Big game this weekend." Yeah, huge game. Should we change the plays here? Let's go to.
Let's play some Jags highlights.
I don't know if I have. I have to look for this.
Go to NFL Plus, dude. What's the worst that can happen? New channel gets banned?
Yes.
Ooh.
Don't worry, boys. I have it ready to go. Just have to see here. You're going to have to talk while I look this up here.
Get some Trevor Lawrence highlights.
We could go.
I missed a player search on Game Pass.
Yeah, no. We're not going to be able to do that.
Shame.
We got Jags Colts. We can. No,
Yeah, play it. Who cares?
They don't play through.
Shame.
Sorry. We'll have to go big screen. We'll go big screen. We've been on for over an hour and 18 minutes.
Yeah, for sure.
We'll go big screen. You got come
Okay.
on. Come on. Eddie says, "What's up?"
What's up?
What's up with you? Everything good?
Good.
Mike got married recently.
Yeah, 2 weeks married. I was like, I
How's
gotta
it
get
feel?
I gotta get out of the house and do a podcast. This shit sucks.
Is life different married?
Equally as awesome.
What do you think? What's been the biggest difference between pre-married and post-married?
Oh man, referring to her as my wife.
Wearing the ring?
I can't. Yeah. If she asks me to, I actually will. But until then, I can't make fun of her as much as I used to.
Is that what changes?
Yeah, for sure. Like
Can't
I
make
used to
fun of
like
as
I used to like really roast her, and now I'm just like, dang, this is my wife. I cannot say these things.
That's
We have the
crazy.
same last name now, so
That's a good point.
it's a shame.
Her actions bear more on you now.
Oh,
Because of her last
I
name.
thought you said her accent. I was like, what? Yeah, no, exactly. Yeah, for sure.
Religion says we could pull off a Trojan War. Everyone wear Eagles jerseys with the Jags underneath.
We don't even
Rip
need to
them-
do that. We'll just take that shit over.
It's not going to work because we know the owner of the
Yeah.
bar, so and he knows we're big Jags
Yeah,
fans.
that would be so funny though.
Azert says, "LOL, the bell." Yeah, hit the bell. Donald Johnson, we need to celebrate good times. Come on, Donald. That's coming. That's coming. Yeah, we got to be careful. YouTube's a little more harsh than they used to be. They used to just kind of give you a slap on the wrist. Now they're like, we'll take your channel away.
Oh no. Do
Jet-
you remember Cindy Funk by chance?
Not at all.
Florida State guy used to do all the game breakdowns and
Nope.
GIFs and stuff like that.
Not at all.
You don't remember Cindy Funk? Okay.
Jesse Davis says, "I'll be at the link."
Every
in
time
the-
I hear Jesse Davis, I keep thinking of the, I believe it was the former Steelers / Lions tight end.
Jesse James,
There's a Jesse Davis too,
the
though.
one that like died.
Who was
He
Jesse?
got hit on like the goal line.
No.
He had a pretty serious injury. I think.
Wasn't there a Jesse Davis in the NFL though?
There's a Jared Davis.
No.
Jesse
Gerard
James.
Davis. Come on, dude.
He says he'll be at the link in the rain,
That's
cheering the
crazy.
Bird Gang on.
I believe there's a.
Is the link of an Eagles thing?
Yeah,
What-
that's what they call it. Lincoln Financial Field.
What's the Philadelphia word that everyone uses? If you're from Philly, John.
I have no idea.
John, Jawn.
Isn't there actually a jail in the bottom
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
If you watch It's Always Sunny, great show.
Robert Atcher says shock crap videos. People click on them just to give them a thumbs up.
Exactly. I started like reporting those videos. Like there's some like you'll click on it and they'll do mouth overs of like Jaguars press conferences. I started reporting them. They actually make me angry.
I haven't seen those.
Yeah.
Jaggernaut says, "Do we have a number 80 on the roster? My 6-year-old wants a custom teal jersey."
Who was the last 80? Shaughnessy?
That's the first thing hit in my mind.
Okay.
Wasn't who's the Raiders receiver that came over?
Porter? Jerry Porter?
Was Jerry Porter 80?
I don't remember, man. Mike, I think maybe Mike or was it Jared Dillard?
Jared
Might have-
Dillard? He was 80 something. Just buy him
I
a
don't really think about numbers, honestly.
Jaggernaut. Just buy him a Trevor Lawrence jersey.
Just give him that MJD jersey right there.
Robert Atcher says your wife owns you now.
No, not a chance. She wishes.
Eddie says congrats on the marriage.
Thank you.
Jesse Davis says O-line for the Dolphins.
That's who it was. That's who it was. Not a very good player. Sorry to hear that. he's a very horrible.
Donald
NFL
Johnson
player.
says even if we lose the next 3, even if we lose this week, the next 3 look gettable. Let's go Jags. Let's win the division.
So Colts, Texans. Who's the week? Broncos after that.
I think so. London.
Okay. Russell's looked horrible. I texted Jason then. I was like, "Is Russ cooked?"
Yeah, I think so.
He looks horrible, man.
Yeah.
He has not looked good.
This week is gonna. He's my starting quarterback on my fantasy team. in one of my leagues, and this is the last week that I'm
He
giving him a
looks
chance.
absolutely
He
horrible.
looks horrible.
I've been loving how bad Nate Hackett is. He sucked in Jacksonville, and he still sucks now. I love it.
He took Bortles to a
No,
AFC
that
championship.
that defense took them to the AFC Championship.
Ben Haney says Kevin Austin Jr. was number 80.
If I hear about these bum receivers one more time tonight, no offense to them, but my gosh, I've heard more about Kevin Austin and Jones tonight than I have Trevor Lawrence. My God, these bums. I don't mean that. That's really rude. Just average NFL receivers.
Average NFL receivers.
Not even average, below average.
Yeah, but it's still impressive to make it to the
no,
league.
it's for sure. If they were my buddies, I'd be stoked for them. Like, why would I want to see these dudes play football? Oh, well.
Fat Boy Shad says our only weakness is our pass defense. I'd say our
It's been pretty good at
left guard.
Dude, third downs are really good. Actually, that might not be accurate. But I really like the defense. We were talking about it before the year. Defensive line is deep. I mean, when Arden Key and Dwayne Smoot are your sixth best defensive linemen,
That's true.
That's not bad.
Arden Key has gotten no play.
He's not played well. I was really excited
He
in the
hasn't
preseason.
played. He's not getting any snaps.
Yeah, Chazon's out playing him, I think.
That's what I'm saying. No, neither one of them are playing.
Yeah.
No, I mean, like, our defensive line has been probably the most impressive unit. I mean, at preseason, we started to see it, but before preseason, going into the season, you didn't think the D-line was going to dominate the way they did.
There's some tweets out there.
From
Me.
all right, well, we're an hour and 24 in. I think that's a good place to end it.
Sounds like a good time for monkeys.
I appreciate you being here, Mike.
Yeah, it was fun, man.
Yeah,
Urban Meyer killed the spirit. That was the worst year of my entire life.
If you were to give this show a PFF grading,
Oh my God.
if you were to give us a rating, what would you give it?
You got to think about. We haven't spent a lot of time. It's only one episode, so it's going to be.
There's not a lot of cohesiveness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's funny.
So what's your grade?
Oh, me? I thought you were asking the fans. I'm sorry.
I'm asking you.
Oh, me? Oh,
Yeah.
man.
What's our grade?
I'd give it a 77.8.
77.
Yeah.
That's usually in the upper tier of teams.
Yeah, I think that's
Okay.
Trevor Lawrence's grade right now, actually.
So good.
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
good.
It's a
All
top
right.
12 quarterback in the NFL. I would absolutely take that.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah.
All right, that's a good one. Well, I appreciate it, guys. Thank you guys for hanging out. I this is great. I've had a fun time. You guys know I'm always humbled by you guys. Everyone that's in the chat, I appreciate it. All the channel members. Patrick Jackson was in the chat.
The
Moon
Jones
Illusions, Volk Fang, all the other channel members. Philip Butcher. Thank you guys. I appreciate it. Thank you for supporting the channel. Tallahassee.
What a start to the year, man. Jags.
Listen, my favorite thing is talking Jags. So the fact that there's so much excitement going on, it makes me really happy.
I've never seen people talk about us the way they have.
Yeah.
From The Athletic to the ESPN to Chris Sims is fawning. I hate Chris Sims. I hate to say that, but everybody.
Yeah.
It's awesome, man. It's really cool to hear.
It's exciting. Well, hit me up on Twitter if you are watching the game in Jacksonville. We're having a little watch party. We're gonna go to a restaurant/bar. So hit me up. I'll tell you where it's at. It'll be a good time. If you're not in Jacksonville, be looking for the show coming up following the game. It'll be sometime the next day or so. Make sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel so you get notifications for when we go live. There's a little bell icon that if you hit, it'll give you a notification on your phone. You're already getting a million notifications during the day anyways. You might as well get one more of when we go live. So go ahead and hit that there. Follow Twitter, and follow Instagram so that you get notifications for any news or updates. We will be back soon. Mike, hopefully you'll come back again.
Yeah, I will.
You have a good
If
time?
I'm invited, for sure.
We'll see. We'll see how the PFF grades come out. Until then, thank you guys. I appreciate it. And as always,